Oh, hello, my gays, my straights, my matriarchs, my patriarchs. Welcome to another episode of the Millennial Matriarch Podcast. I am your host, Alexis, aka Lexi, and I am joined by my beautiful makeup wearing, ice cube dog chewing co-host, ATD. How's it going?
It's going okay. I'm gonna go for a full dog mom disclaimer on this episode. If you hear any light whimpering in the background, it's because one of my dogs, Clover, the past couple days, just will not give up. She does not want me sitting here. Well, she really doesn't want me doing anything other than paying full attention to her. She's being very needy. I have some enrichment toys on the way from Amazon. They're not here yet. All I have to distract her is ice. Because that's what she likes.
Listeners, Ashlie wants you to know that her husband is not chained to the desk, whimpering for his freedom. It is just her dog.
Right. And if you need proof of life, I can get that for you. Everyone's fine.
We'll have him hold up a newspaper with today's date.
So if you hear that, that's what that is. Life of a mom. It's the hardest job in the world.
It's hard. And over here, we've got Cookie's legs just in the background. We've just got a little baby legs and baby tails. And if you watch on YouTube, you've probably seen my dog's butthole 100 times because Cookie's butthole is the third host of this podcast. But we're trying to get his butthole out of frame. So we'll see what we can do. I feel like you and I, on a lot of the episodes, have talked a lot about things that we thought when we were younger, just life transitions that we've been through. Obviously, if you've been a regular listener, you've heard Ashlie and I talk ad nauseum about the fact that we both are recently married. And I actually have a question for you because I wonder if this happened to you. This summer, as I was moments away from planning my wedding, I felt like I was so self-reflective and retrospective. I don't know. I also kind of felt like Snow White leading up to my wedding. So I felt like animals were flocking around me, but that's for another time. I found no, I'm not kidding. I mean, I got married in August. So I think nature, the bunnies were bunnying, I was birds everywhere. I literally felt like Snow White. I don't know why.
Okay.
I felt very self-reflective and introspective in the months leading up. And I would love to know your thoughts if you felt that way.
I don't know. I definitely felt very sentimental.
Yes.
So
yes.
Sentimental over our history together. We were together 7 years before we got married. So it was
I can't
okay,
believe you guys have been together that long.
I know. I'm a long engagement kind of gal. So no, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know retrospective as much as just sentimental, but obviously a lot of reflection on who I was when I met him versus who I was when I married him, and even now in just over a year, so many changes just to me.
I definitely felt very self-reflective and introspective and just, I don't know. I really thought about my life as a whole a lot and just, I think unfortunately or fortunately, as being girls, you are thinking about I thought about my wedding day for my entire life. We used to joke as my family that it was Alexis just had to was going to command F in or command F, command copy paste
I gotcha.
copy paste the guy in. It changed a lot, but it was really something that I thought a lot about. So Ashlie and I, what we wanted to talk about today is things that we would say to our younger self. So we're not going to read them right now, but Ashlie and I did both write letters to our younger self, which we are going to read. And I'm so excited to hear yours. But before we get into that, I would love to know, one, when you wrote the letter to your younger you, how old was the you that you were picturing when you were talking to?
Well, per usual, I have to be annoying and I can't just have a straight answer. Mine's more of just a listicle. There's pretty much 5 major points, and I don't know that each of them is a different age, but they're different ages. Like,
Oh,
I wasn't thinking about
interesting.
that. I wasn't thinking about that when I wrote it, but now, but like reflecting on it, I know that it's for different ages.
I like that.
It's kind of all over the place. She needed different things at different times.
You know what? That is, I appreciate that. I thought a lot about middle school. Like, I kind of pictured my 13-year-old self. And I don't know if that's because we were talking about Hillary Duff on last week's episode, and I'm just like in I'm in the Lizzie McGuire of it all age.
Was there any like pivotal like around that age that you think like that's why you thought about that age in particular?
Is 13 considered coming of age? I don't know. I think that at age
For some
13,
communities, yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
I think at age 13, I was out of elementary school. I was, as Britney Spears would say, not a girl, not yet a woman.
there she is.
But
We
that
knew
is
Mrs. Spears would come up at some point in this podcast. I cannot believe it took 20 something episodes, but here we are.
like I don't know, but I think at 13, that's when I really started to become more of my own individual self. Like, I
Mm,
started hooking up with boys. I started wearing makeup. I mean, I had my period. I think my fashion sense, I would carry a, but I remember going to school with the backpack and the purse. Like,
yeah.
age 13 me is something that I really think a lot about. And I think it's also because age 13 me was insecure. And
Mm,
I did a lot of things for male attention that I'm not embarrassed of, and I'm not proud of them, but I kind of look back at th me then, and I wish that I thought more highly of myself at that age.
it's easier to look back and be like, "Oh, okay, like everything's okay." But like, you still feel bad for that little girl, you know? Not to digress too much, but has your therapist ever had you do inner child work and like kind of do what we're doing, like writing a letter to your younger self or
Oh,
pinpointing a
yeah.
specific time? That is probably like the most intense experience I've ever had was like sitting, closing my eyes, like picturing a certain age of myself and like talking to her. Oof, I get choked up thinking about it now.
Yeah. Well, it's, and for me, it's not even just boys. Like, I struggled so much with, like, I grew up not thinking that I was beautiful or attractive. And, that's not because I grew up in a house. Like, my parents and my family and my friends told me constantly that I was beautiful, but I think, I didn't necessarily see people that looked like me represented as being beautiful. So I didn't think I was beautiful. So I think, as you go through puberty and, I realized at a young age that I was really good at getting sexual attention. And I think that's what I latched on to.
Yeah, and not to mention, 13 is such like a it can be really awkward. And a lot of firsts are happening. A lot of firsts are happening in your body. A lot of firsts are happening in social situations. It makes sense, right? Because it's like the culmination of all these like changes happening to your physical body, hormonally, the way you sort of like think about yourself. Like you're not really a kid anymore, so you start becoming like aware of your body. I mean,
Yeah.
different I'm sure people have had different experiences, but it feels like that's like a really big time for you to start becoming like aware of your body and the way people react to it
Mhm.
and getting different kind of attention. Yeah, and it can be intoxicating or it can be scary or it can be weird.
Yeah.
Oof,
So
can I tell you, you could not pay me. You could not. And for me, like 13 wasn't like a big, dark, awful, like it wasn't like this terrible time necessarily, but like you couldn't pay me to like go back.
no.
There are certain ages, like, I don't know, like 17, like, I remember 17 being fucking awesome. Like, I would
Interesting.
go back and do 17 again, but I wouldn't go back and do 13 again. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. I feel that way. Oh, I say this all the time. Turning 21, like the summer in between junior and senior year of college, when all of or most of your friends are 21, it was the first summer I stayed in Boston because, I went to school at Suffolk. They don't provide, oh, so did Ashley. They don't provide housing after sophomore year. So junior year, we had an apartment and like I would go back to that summer. So
Mm.
100%. Oh, I agree. Oh my God. Totally. Wait, I want to know about 17.
I'm young for my grade.
Yeah.
So I was 17 my senior year of high school. I didn't turn 18 until the summer after. So 17 was all of that senior year, and, like, it was just such an amazing time. It was getting into college, like, my parents, like, really, like, loosened up on the restrictions and the rules, and I was allowed to, like, go to parties and, like, just do more socially, and also, like, yeah, there was just, like, an openness. I mean, I always had, like, an open household, but there was just, like, a different level of openness. Like, I really just, like,
Was
got
it
to, like,
freedom?
I guess so. I guess so. Like, I think by the time I was 17, like, my parents were, like, totally, like, chill and obviously trusted me, so there was that, but then there was also, like, all of these incredible things happening. So senior year, you can kinda coast. Had already gotten into school. I had nothing but the future ahead of me, and I knew it. Like, I remember being in it and being like, "This is awesome. This feels so good." Like, and I'm so grateful for that. I don't know why, but I was so aware that this was such a special time. And like, you've got these friendships you've been culminating for years in high school. Like, you're sort of like nostalgic sad because you're about to leave them. So you're sucking up like all the goodness, especially that summer before going
Yeah.
off to college. Like, that was the best. Like, it was like all those responsibilities are done. I'm headed into my new chapter of life and I'm in this in between, and it feels just really good.
You are Laguna Beach season 2. Like
Absolutely.
the feeling
Absolutely.
and you literally are that. What you're describing is that season.
Compare me to K-Cav any day, okay?
Any day.
Any day. I don't think I
Okay,
was quite on her level, but yeah, that feeling of season 2 for
season
sure.
2. So what is the first thing you have on your list?
Okay. So the first thing is a little deeper, but I also don't think it's surprising to you or our listeners. I have your body is perfect just the way it is. Don't focus on it too much. And I guess,
That.
and I'm assuming you want to know the age that I think about.
Yeah,
I mean, I honestly like think about like when I was 9 and like I first went to
like
like,
little.
yeah, and I first went to like weight loss camp, which I know I've talked about on the podcast. The reason that I say it that way, your body is perfect just the way it is because like I always wonder if maybe if I had just been left alone, like maybe if the outside world had not shoved it down my throat that I was overweight, maybe my food issues like wouldn't have been so gargantuan. Like, maybe if I had just been able to settle into my body or grow into my body. I mean, we just talked about 13 being
Yeah,
that was 4 years before. Like, I just think
right.
like and frankly, if I'm being super, super honest, there's also like probably before the age of 9 that there was like signals,
Yeah,
food signals, like food bad, fat
yeah.
bad, like, there, and that's magazines, that's movies, that's, stupid people, stupid little girls making comments. Like, those are just things, but I look back on that little girl and I look at pictures of that little girl and I'm like, she was fucking perfect.
I know. It's
And that happens all the
insane.
time, right? Like, I could look at a picture of myself probably 4 years ago and be like, "Damn, I look good." Like, you always look back and you're like and you're like, "Oh, like, how cute was she?" Like,
Yeah.
she was so cute and she was so perfect, and, like, I truly think of that 9-year-old girl as, like, almost like a different being than myself, and I'm just like, "She was so great," and, like, she my family was I never really went deep into it, but my family was kinda going through something around that age that I think perpetuated, my eating habits and sort of why things progressed, and, I sort of understood the need to be healthy, but it was other external factors that was sort of telling me, like, "Your body's wrong, it's bad."
Yeah.
And I just thought, like, if I had just been left the fuck alone, like, maybe I deal a lot with, not to go into like a whole tirade, but I deal a lot with trying to learn how to intuitively eat again and listening to that that mechanism that every body is allegedly haven't found it, but allegedly everyone's body has like a regulation. Just some of us can hear it better than others, and I can barely hear mine. Like I have to
Yeah.
really, really listen to, and for people who have never dealt with this, like you might be like, what the fuck is she talking about? But literally satiety, the ability to feel like you're full or you're hungry. Like mine is just wackadoo all over the place. And I just think if I had just been like left and I had just been given the quietness to listen to my own body versus what everybody
Yeah.
else is saying, like maybe it would have been a little bit of a smoother ride for me. Cause looking back, like I said, I don't think there was anything wrong with my body. And like it's the microscope that made me swirl. And like I feel like I've been unlearning those negative thoughts ever since.
That makes so much sense.
Not to like be like fucking Pollyanna about it, but like it's okay. Like I'm here, I'm figuring it out. But also this kind of goes back to inner child too, is that I'm taking care of her now. I've got it now. I'm
Yeah.
going to take the reins for her. You know, that control she didn't have, that those things that she couldn't because she was 9 years old, like those things that she couldn't manage or didn't understand, like I got her back now.
I think that's a really beautiful way that you've been able to
Yeah.
reframe that because, I think a lot, if you're going to talk about like inner child work, it's, there are so many things you want to get mad at the younger version of yourself for, but the
Yeah.
younger version of yourself didn't know better. The younger version of yourself didn't have the life experience that you have now.
Yeah.
Societally, are the society that you and I grew up in terms of body body positivity was not a thing. We grew up in the age of I think of Skintimate commercials of the
Yeah.
girls being so small and just those low-rise fucking jeans. Imagine the trauma we would not have if low-rise jeans
Can
were
I
never
just
a thing.
say the return of the low-rise jeans is probably like
It ain't
it's
returning
a
to this home.
it's a crime. It's a crime and I'm not about it. But yeah, heroin chic, you know, Kate Moss,
Yes.
like these were the people that we were looking at all the time. And I know we're going to spend some time at a later episode talking about just like the shows and movies that we were watching
Yeah.
that at the time, like you know, ooh, they were new, they were interesting. You didn't really raise an eyebrow, but
Mhm.
my husband and I, we I think I've told you this. We do this thing sometimes where we're like watching like an old movie or an old show, and something, you know, a word will be said or a mean like thing will be said, and we'll be like, that didn't age well. Like we always
No.
say, like, ooh, that's a that didn't age well show because there were things that were said back then on reality TV, in fictional shows that it's like, ooh, that would never fly today and for good fucking reason. And part of that is the way that you know, bodies were portrayed or talked about. But if I had a chance to have a conversation with that younger self, that is one of the things that I would for sure um talk to her about. I don't know if she would believe me. I don't know if she would take my word
Well,
for
that's
it,
not part of the
but I
prompt.
but I sure as shit would hope that she would. What's something on your list?
One of the things that's in my letter is you don't need to rush becoming yourself. You spend so much time trying to figure out where you fit when the truth is you were never meant to fit. You were meant to build your own lane. And so I am somebody who I have always had a million types of different friends. I have always had scattered interests. Like I grew up playing Pokemon with my friends, but then I also loved makeup and Bratz dolls. And I've just kind of I always say I'm just like a duality in one person.
Yeah.
And for a lot of my life, I tried to I don't want to say I tried to fit myself in spaces that weren't meant for me, but I have such a big personality, and I now at 33 think that I'm really somebody who is meant to kind of go against the grain, break the molds. Like Alyssa told this story not on the episode she was on, but I walked into her bridal shower 30 minutes late trying to be sneak in. She goes, Alexis, you walked in with a rolling suitcase, 6-inch heels, and a lime green outfit on. What do you mean you thought you walked in quietly?
Not to mention, babe, you're part of the bridal party. We noticed.
But I just don't think I was meant to be small or be
Mhm.
quiet or kind of fit in like with the rest. I love my personality. I've always been okay with who I am. I just didn't always think that I was fit to be in certain places, if that makes sense.
It does. It does make sense. And do you feel like sort of the undertone of that is like you're gonna exhaust yourself, girl. Like just do what you want to do. Do what feels natural to you.
I talked to my mom about this a lot when I like probably like during COVID when what else was there to do? I felt a lot of family pressure. Like I
Mm.
very much and when I say family pressure, I do not mean from my parents. Like yes, my parents were I wouldn't say that they were strict, I obviously I have home training. I was raised to act a certain way, to be polite, to carry yourself a certain way. But it wasn't like my parents were the kind of people that were like, "Oh my god, you did that in public? Like, let me scold you for hours." Like it wasn't restrictive, but I very much have always looked up to the family I was brought into. And
Mm.
so the amount of pressure that I had to be as good as I felt they were. I felt that kind of pressure up until like COVID, like up until I was like
Wow.
20 like 28, and I talked to my mom and I was like, "Mom, you're just so much better than me. Like I'm not like you guys. Like you guys are better." And she was like, "What are you talking about?"
Right. So do you think it came from a place of like admiration? Like you really admired a lot of people in your family and so you wanted to like be at their level?
Yes, but I felt like I wasn't.
And you felt like you weren't.
Yeah.
But why do you think you felt that way? That was your inner dialogue and
It was my inner dialogue. They were right and I was
yeah.
wrong. I would not say that I was a rebellious child, but out of my sister and I have always been the more rebellious one. My sister's like, "You're such a
I get that
contrarian.
sense.
You like to disagree with people for the sake of disagreeing with people." Like, I am just not I don't think I'm
You're like
meant to go
contrarian.
right, right.
Like a word
Like
I learned 2 years ago and now I can't stop using it.
it's such a good word. I describe myself as the line will be here and I'm always slightly over it. Like that is
Mm.
just who I am.
Sounds fun.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, sounds fun. But I could understand how that maybe couldn't you didn't see it that way, when you were
No,
younger,
I
so you'd
just
want that.
I thought I was wrong. And now what I know about like genetics and personalities and characteristics and traits, I'm like, okay, yes, I am unique, but I also have certain traits from the family I grew up in. So like I don't know why I thought that I was like bad and wrong. Um
I also feel like, and maybe I'm naive, but I feel like since we've, gone from children to adults, I feel like there has been like a cultural shift where like different is cool, unique is cool. And there's a lot of people who try to falsify uniqueness, right? Like, oh, I'm so
Wish I knew what that meant. Like, how do you do that? I don't know.
right, right. It's not you it's not even on your radar. I think like a presence we see like on social media from a lot of
Mm.
people is like it's an inauthentic uniqueness. Like I'm going to try and sort of like position myself as like liking this or being super into this or like I'm like super special. And listen, everyone is special, but I think there's sort of this like I know that's cool to be different now, so I'm gonna like try to be different. And it's like, well, how
Where
about
it
you just
wasn't
be
like that when
you?
we were growing up.
Right. So it's almost like I feel like the culture now probably like welcomes this, but it didn't used to be like that, you know? Now it's actually like almost wrong to be basic. Like the term basic, right? Like however, like what, 8 years ago? Like that was huge because then it was like, "Ew, you're like, oh, you like Gilmore Girls and
Right?
Starbucks? You're so basic." And I was like, "Oh my god, there's a name for it. That's me." Basic as fuck.
I mean,
A la Stassi
Stassi
Schroeder.
Schroeder. Oh, there we go.
I'm rewatching Vanderpump Rules right now, and we haven't gotten to her OOTD moment yet. But yeah, the queen of basic, she sort of embraced it. She was like, "Yeah, I do like sort of like the conventional things, and
And like
it's
that's
fun."
okay.
But it's uber, I think, accepted to be kind of quirky and weird and unique because that's where the fun is. And I
Yeah,
think
I
you're a really fun
agree.
person, so that makes sense to
I
me.
do too. So thank you.
There
All
you go.
right, what's the next thing on your list? Or give me another age. Like what other ages do you have on your list?
Next one on my list, and it's like it's sort of like an uncomfy one for me to bring up, but whatever, we're here to change and grow. Um, it's you will find the one, be patient. And I
Yeah.
and so that obviously is tied to sort of like finding my person, my romantic partner. It's uncomfy because I didn't go all my life thinking about what my wedding day would be one day. Like, I actually didn't want to get married. I didn't, want to have children, still don't, we'll see. Um, so, like, it's not that I had this sort of picture perfect cookie cutter, idea in my mind, nor did I really, like, think that much about a potential partner. However, this is to, I think, maybe my teenage, early 20s self, because even though I was having, normal quote unquote experiences with the opposite sex, because I'm straight ish. We've gone over that.
Sexuality is fluid.
I just had this like overwhelming feeling that I wasn't having normal experiences and that I wasn't having enough of them. And I wasn't like
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
that boys didn't like me, and it could have been, it's kind of, it could go back to the body issue, it could go back to maybe I was a little like weird or different, like I just felt like that wasn't happening for me. Like, I didn't have boyfriends. I really only had boyfriends, like, college and beyond, even, like, end of college.
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't have boyfriends, and all of my friends did, and all of the girls I watched on TV did, like, that were my age. So I felt very, like, outside of that world, and, like, I couldn't connect with people on that because I wasn't having those experiences,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, like, it became a huge, like, thing that was on my mind. Ugh, what a fucking waste. Because while it wasn't a huge focus on, like, my day to day, it was a huge focus in my mind. And so, like, the anxiety of always maybe anxiety is not the right word, but, like, the preoccupation of, like, being single took up way too much space in my mind, and I would just want, like, my teenage, young 20s self to know, like, he is coming sooner than you think, so enjoy your time alone. And
Yeah.
listen, I did. I did.
Right.
I put in the work, okay? I put in the work of being single, and I have no regrets, but, like, I didn't know I was gonna meet my person at 25. 25, it's not
That's
that long
so
ago, but
young.
I can confidently say that's a baby.
Do you know what's so funny? If you want to talk about age 25,
Yeah.
because I, like a week after my 25th birthday, I got dinner with one of my best friends. He is a straight male. And I remember sitting at dinner with him, and something happened in my brain when I turned 25. And I looked at him and I was like, I think I need to start thinking about, do I want to get married? Do I want to have kids?
Oh.
So yes, like as a kid, I always dreamed about like my wedding day and getting married and having children and like the 2.5 kids and like the white picket fence. But then I hit this age where I hit like my mid 20s and I was like, wait, I'm having so much fun being like single in a big city. Then I was like, do I want to settle down? I remember around age 25, I actually talked to a life coach, and I remember telling her, I don't want to look back on my 20s and say I wish I had done it.
And that right, and that's kind of where I'm glad you had that wherewithal, because I think that's where this advice comes from for me, is that, like, girl, he's actually coming, like, way sooner, like, your person is coming way sooner than
Yeah.
you think. So, like, stop preoccupying yourself with it, because
And you guys stayed together. It's not like you guys broke up in between. Like you guys have been together since you were 25. That's young.
Yeah, super young. So I think like yeah, I just wish that I could tell her that like it's not it does I don't even know that like I would say like he's coming sooner than you think explicitly, but just that like he's coming or multiple things are coming. Listen, I'm a big believer that I don't personally believe in one person for everyone. I think there are reasons, there are seasons, there are lifetimes. I think that I'm a kid of divorce. So you can't tell me that like my mother was supposed to be with my bio dad. No. She was supposed to be with him for the time being to
For
learn some
you, because you wouldn't
lessons.
be
Right,
here.
learn some lessons and obviously to welcome this gorgeous creature into the house.
Right.
Not to get so dark, but I I've been watching The Valley Persian style.
Persian style, yeah. Love it.
Which by the way, can I just take a minute? I'm
Yeah.
sitting on the couch the other day and G's next to me. You know, he's sort of eating his food. He's not really paying attention, but he's like peripherally paying attention. And he goes, "Isn't this Shaws of Sunset?" I looked at him and I said, "I have
Wow.
never been more attracted to you."
You said, "Drop those pants right now."
The fact that he knew, I said, "Yes, babe. It is Shaws of Sunset. This is a spinoff,
We
but
love a
it's a
Bravo
stupid
husband.
spinoff. They should just call it Shaws of Sunset." Yes, I literally like texted like a couple of my best friends. I was like, "You'll never believe what just happened. He's growing. It only took 8 years, but he's learning."
But he's learning.
Anyway, there is, and I'm awful, I forget his name, but there's this sweet man on there. He's part of this new cast who was married, his wife
Yes.
got sick, passed away, and now he's married to another equally amazing woman who he has children with. You can't tell me that he wasn't meant to have like, both of those people weren't meant to be in his life, and who knows, maybe he's got a third somewhere in the mix. I don't really know, that's not my business. But I don't believe that there's one person for everyone. So that even more to the point of why I would give that kind of advice of like, he's out there. Like there are great guys out there who are
Yeah.
gonna match your freak and you're gonna fuck each other.
Yeah.
Like that's just math.
I fully believe that there is a seat for every ass. I had that on my list too, just
Yeah?
like it's not yes, like not the same exact language, but
Yeah.
just that it's all going to be okay. Like now at 33 I very much am like what's meant for me won't miss me. I'm very
Mm,
much like the
like that.
path that I'm on. Like I am someone that believes in like fate and destiny, but I also believe in choice. So, like, how I picture life is did you ever read those books that were like, go to choose the next, choose what Sally does next, go to page
Yeah.
75 if you want? That is
Yeah.
fully how that's what I think life is. For those of you that did never read those books, I can't give you an example, but they were basically like choose your own adventure. And you would be reading a story and it would say, like, if you want Sally to go to the ball, turn to page 75. If you want Sally to stay home with her dog, go to page like 34 and they would be like
Yeah.
different outcomes.
And who knows, you can make your choices. Now I'm getting super existential. I
I
didn't
love
smoke
it.
any weed today, by the way. It's just the Unwell energy drink. Yeah, like you can make your choices, but potentially maybe all roads lead to the same thing. Like you might choose this path right now, but those other 3 that were in front of you, you might hit those elsewhere.
Right. It's a different journey. Let me tell the folks this. So I did put thought into this, but then I also asked Chat GPT what it thought I would say to my younger self. There were actually like 2 areas that really like hit me in my feels. And one of them is you're allowed to outgrow identities you once fought hard to hold. Reinvention isn't instability, it's growth. And then this one really hit me. Trust your voice earlier. You always had opinions, insight, and vision. You just didn't realize they were valuable yet.
Hmm.
And I am somebody who I trust my inner voice so much now, but that was something that I had to learn how to do once my mom passed. She was the person I didn't naturally trust myself. I constantly needed her validation. I needed her to tell me I was making the right choices. I needed her to like be behind me.
Mm.
So this idea that yeah, you've always had the tools. You've always been capable. You just didn't think you were.
Yeah. When do you think you came to realize that?
Realize what which part of it?
That you sort of, like, look to her to,
Oh, when she once
like, when
she
did you
passed.
confront it?
Once she passed. So like recently. And it was like I say this all the time. I always felt like I had a security blanket. I think
Mhm.
I was allowed to I mean, I do think I'm still kind of reckless in certain areas in the sense that I don't know. I think it all comes out in the wash. I think everything's going to be okay. I mean, I'm not out here shooting up heroin. Like I'm not doing things that are like insane, but I always kind of felt like I had this safety net of like mom's got me.
Yeah.
If something horrible happened, I could move home temporarily, or if something horrible happened, she would help me, or if something horrible happened, she would still love me.
Yes.
And I didn't realize I didn't realize how much of that I held until it wasn't there.
I'm really glad you said that because I think that's a good thing for me to take away from this. I think it's reliance, but in a healthy way, but perhaps it's important to kind of trust your
Yeah.
ability to make choices for yourself and just make them for yourself. You don't need the validation, or I like the way you said security blanket,
Yeah.
because my
Mhm.
mother would tell you all the things you just listed. That's exactly how she wants me to feel about her. It's
Yeah.
exactly how your mom wanted you to
Yeah.
feel, to be warm and comforted, and know that you did have a place to run home to, and like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what they want. But, yeah, in order for a little chickadee to spread their wings, they've gotta just
Right.
jump and do it and,
You
like,
gotta
be
leave the nest.
steadfast in your own choices, for sure, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
And for anybody who's listening who doesn't know me, I have always been an independent person, but there was just always like this little voice in my head that needed her validation, acceptance, approval. And again, this was not something that I didn't have. Like, it's not like she ever made me feel like those things needed to be earned. Like, she gave them freely. I needed them so much more than I actually needed them, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
It was more, and it was a you thing, not a her
It was a
thing.
me thing. It
She
was a
was
me thing.
part of it, but it was really you and, like, your inner dialogue. That's really interesting.
Give me another one on your list.
Don't let people treat you badly because they'll think it's acceptable and it won't change unless you're bold and honest. I think that, like, in my gut, I knew, like, "Ooh, I don't like the way that person just talked to me," or "I don't like that they said that and think that they can get away with it." And I often fantasize about, like, what I should have said to, like,
Like,
past guys
own
I've
it.
dated, like,
Yeah.
friends I've had conflict with, people in authority who, like, thought they had the right to, like, make me feel small just because they were in, like, a position of power, like, nothing crazy, but just I wish my younger self had the confidence to confront and, like, speak up. Because people would say this isn't true, but my inner, like, the way I remember, like, my childhood is, like, being shy, like, having so much inner dialogue, but being too shy to say it out loud. But I feel that way for, like, this one doesn't really have an age appended to it. Like, I really feel that for just, like, up until now, like, there were things I should have addressed a long time ago with people. There are and there are also people that I literally have not seen in over a decade that I'm just like, "Ooh," or even people whose, like, name I don't remember, but there was, like, an interaction that happened where I was like, "You know what? I should have thrown
It
that person
stuck with
should have told that
you.
person to fuck off." Or, "Oh, I should have let that person know, hey, that hurt my feelings. Please don't ever do that again." Like, I'm no there's no specific examples because I think, like, there's just a
It's just like a
Rolodex.
general life lesson. Like, I do think there are certain traits and, quote unquote struggles that we have that are ours for life. Like, that's always going to kind of be like your cross to bury. No,
Yeah,
not
to
your cross
bear,
to
to
bury.
bear.
to bear. But it's actually really interesting when you were talking about that because I am a big believer in people treat you how you allow yourself to be
Yes.
treated. And I had somebody had said to me once and it's always stuck with me and I give people this advice all the time. This person was like, "Alexis, everybody in your life treats you like a princess because you don't allow anybody in your life to treat you not like that."
That sounds good.
And honestly, I don't think that's horrible.
That sounds pretty good.
I don't think that's horrible, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I I'm somebody who is very much when you show me who you are, that's it. Like, yes, I
Mhm, mhm.
forgive. Yes, I understand like there's nuance to that, but I'm a full believer is like when people show you who they are, listen,
What else is on your list?
love yourself like someone who knows your future. All of the bad things that have happened, all of the mistakes that I've made, all of the left turns when I should have went right. Don't I'm not going to get like I'm not going to be mad at myself for that. I do think you need to love all versions of yourself.
It's very profound. The you today taking care of all your past selves. Like that's the person that
Yeah.
you want. That's the kind of treatment you want.
Okay, give me one more on your list and then I have a question for you, but you're going to have to think about it. So,
Another one is have more sex.
oh, I like
Have
that
it sooner.
one.
I I stand by not having sex until after high school cuz like ew.
I
I could
can't say
have,
that.
but I was I'm happy I stood by that. But I also like didn't expect this kind of goes back to like I didn't expect to meet my person so young. So I think like
Mhm.
I think that I wish I would have just this is like a fun one. Like I think I just wish I would have like had more
Hoed it
sex with more
up. Yeah.
people. Like I wish I would have I don't listen, I am one of those rare people and I understand the privilege that's about to come out of my mouth who actually had a good experience losing my virginity. But I also lost my virginity what we would call later in life. I'm watching Love is Blind. There's a girl on there who like the guy was like, "Oh, you were a late bloomer." And she was like, "I don't really like when people say that because like I did
It
it when
does
I was
kinda sound
ready."
offensive coming from a man.
I never thought about it until this girl stopped him. If you know Love is Blind, they're dating blind. Look it up. They're not blind. Doesn't matter. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. But she's said to him, "Yeah, like I don't really like that term, like that saying because it's not like, oh, like late bloomer." She's like, there's no sadness for me around that, and there's no
Yeah.
it was my choice, and I did it when I was ready and when I wanted to, like, I was in full control. So, I actually resonate with that. However, I think that, like, if I had given I think I would like to give my younger self permission to be a little bit more reckless and to just have more sexual experiences because my person is coming. And by the
Yeah.
way, this is not a secret. I say to him all the time, I wish I fucked everything in sight in college, okay? And that's not a secret in this household.
Yeah.
He's aware.
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes back to that. Like, oh, had I known I was gonna have sex with the same person for the rest of my life starting at 25, you know, I would have added a few more people to the roster. That's all I'm saying.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. What is the advice that you would want your future self to give to you now?
Oh, I feel like there's so much going on right now. We've talked about the career stuff.
Yeah. Lots of transition. Lots like you're at a
Yeah.
point of we are at points of transition in our lives.
This is such a transition point for my career, for my life. I'm sort of in this like stay at home era, which I don't think is dissimilar for a lot of people like our age,
I
but
was
like I
just talking
really
to somebody
am.
about this. I was actually telling my therapist this today. I was like, "What happened? I got married and all of a sudden I'm
Yeah,
like
I
at
don't know what
home."
happened. And I'm not mad about it. There's nothing more that I look
Yeah.
forward to sometimes
I
than
think they call it
my
nesting, but I don't know if that's only when you're
yeah.
supposed to be having I think it actually I believe in nesting at multiple phases.
I just am really like in my at home, stay in era. I look forward to my Friday night laundry nights, watching reality TV and ordering takeout. And like that really like is my like solace. But there's a little bit of like shame around it. Like, ugh, like, go out. Like, you're young, you have energy. Like, why are you wasting your time? But it's like, but I'm doing what I want. And I think same thing like in terms of the other transitions in my life, my career, like I just I guess I'd want my future self to be like, it's all going to work out. It's all gonna work out the way that it should, and you're doing your best. You're doing your absolute best. Like, I feel like there's so many facets of my life that I am up leveling right now. It just feels uncomfy because it's new.
Yeah.
Every day is different. Like some days I'm so positive and I'm so energetic and upbeat about all these changes in my life that I am an active participant in. And other days I just feel like yesterday evening was just one of those days where I was like the wind got taken out of my sails. Like
Yeah.
something small happened and I just started and like G was literally like, don't spiral, don't spiral. Like let's just tackle this one little thing. And I was like, nope, I'm spiraling. I'm gone. It's very up and down for me right now. I don't think I've experienced, like, these kinds of mood swings this rapidly in a really long time, but I'm just telling myself that I'm doing my best. What
Yeah,
about
I think it's
you?
a great reminder. Mine is pretty deep, so I'm sorry.
I'm ready.
I want future me to say that you have made all of the right people proud.
The right people proud.
There's certain people that I don't need to make proud. I don't even mean like people who have like passed on. I just mean in
Yeah,
general, all of the right people will be proud.
I like that. That's a nice way to end it. All right, I think it's time to maybe transition to something a little lighter. So, we're going to jump into our millennial mouthfuls. It's kind of silly, it's kind of slutty, it's just like us. It's the millennial mouthfuls. This is the segment where we talk about what we love, what we hate, what we're watching, what's bothering us. Usually me talking about what's bothering me because I have a lot of complaints. It's just what I do. But we also talk about just like what's going on in the world and like what's top of mind. So, I'm gonna throw it over to you, Alexis, to kick us off. What's on your mind this week?
Okay, this actually happened today because my husband is worked from home today because we got a big snow. If you were on the Northeast, you got hit with the cyclone blizzard, the worst blizzard since 1978. We're all fucking digging out.
I should have started this episode with thoughts and prayers.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so
Oh,
sorry
geez.
for
Like,
everyone in the
like,
Northeast. I'm so
geez, I'm
sorry.
ready for like a pina colada and a beach. But this got me thinking because we've been home a lot more together at the same time because of all the snow.
Mhm.
And bathroom habits. When you and your husband are home at the same time.
Which is every fucking day.
Oh, that's right, you both work from home. Are Do you shut the door when you go to the bathroom?
For number 1, no. For number 2, yes.
So I have actually talked to my other friends about this, and I have some friends that are just like door open all the time.
No, I can't do that.
I'm poop shy, so I couldn't do that.
We have so little boundaries with each other. Door shut while doing number 2 is probably the only one we have. Like, it's the only one where, like, we're not crossing that threshold.
I agree, but I also have to say, and like Biggie makes fun of me, if I am pooping, you cannot come near the door. Don't try to talk to me through the door. Don't
Oh, you get
like
little you are poop shy.
I'm so poop shy. So here's a great example. I went upstairs to get something to put laundry in our bedroom, and he was in the bathroom in on our ensuite bathroom off of our bedroom, and he was like, and I was like, "Oh, don't worry. I know you're pooping. I'm not going to talk to you." And he was like, "You could literally sit and talk to me like I don't care." And I'm like, "Absolute. You can't. Don't even breathe through the door unless you are telling me the house is on fire or you're leaving. Like, do not crack that door. Don't interrupt." I get bathroom shy. Even when I go to public bathrooms, if somebody goes in there and the bathroom's not loud, I have to put my AirPods in to go.
Oh, so you don't even care if other people can hear you. You don't want to, like you wanna feel like you're in privacy.
I get listen, at home with my husband, I pee with the door open. When I'm with my friends, like whatever, I'll pee with the door open. I don't know if my husband would poop in front of me with the door open. He knows that's not an option.
Yeah. So what's the distinction between the fact that he's been home more? Because like, you still saw each other, like, you still were cohabitating on weekends and at night.
Feel like he's been peeing downstairs a lot more. So the joke is I live downstairs, he lives upstairs. My office is downstairs, his office is upstairs.
Listen, here are the ground rules, okay? You don't normally work from home, but here are the rules. I'm not here, or you're not here. You're here, but you're not here. I'm so yeah, you just need to set some ground rules. Be like, listen, I know this whole snow day thing, we didn't expect it, but I need you to just pretend like you're not here. Stay upstairs. You want food? Pack yourself a lunch.
Bring your passport. You're going to need it to go up and down that flight of stairs. And guess what? TSA is closed. Actually, TSA pre-check is like, I'm pretty sure pre-check is like not open right now. I don't,
Did I hear about that? Yes. Did I look more into it? I did not.
with everything that's going on with the Department of Homeland Security.
What's going on with the
Girl, that is going to be that we'll talk about that after.
Okay. We'll talk about offline. The rest of you Google it. Alexis is going to educate me afterwards. Another thing we wanted to talk about, because we both have watched at least some of it, is the new show on FX called Love Story, JFK Jr. and Carol Bassett. I guess that's the title. It's just Love Story.
Right.
By the way, FX, they are churning out some top-notch television lately.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it yet, but they have that show The Beauty.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when you watch it. It's pretty intense. I'm enjoying it. It's like a Ryan Murphy show. So it's like, you either love it or you hate it. But FX doing the Lord's work.
You know, this is Ryan Murphy, Love Story.
Shut up.
Yes. And I think the whole point
I
is
take
that
it back then. Yes, it's FX because that's a network he's on, but Ryan Murphy, he's so dynamic.
Yeah.
That's like quite the swing, because The Beauty is a very different show. American Horror Story, right? Wasn't that also Ryan Murphy? Very different show. All's Fair with Kim Kardashian. Very different show.
Yeah.
Wow, what a fucking talent. Thank you for letting me
Yes.
know. I had to explain to G like what we were watching, because once again, he was sitting next to me sort of passively watching. He wasn't
Wait,
really
he didn't know like the
into it.
Kennedy lore?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Obviously, he knows. He knew JF.
Well, I mean, the highlights.
He has an awareness of the Kennedy family and the dynamic, but like he didn't know like what we were. He didn't know who Carolyn Bessette was. So I had to sort of explain to him, and I don't know why, but this show like really hit me. I've only watched the first.
I think
3
it's so
episodes.
well done.
It's so well done. I actually like texted my mom about it because I think I've said this for people who don't know. I'm originally from New York City, grew up there. So I actually remember when JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette died.
I mean, I do too.
There are 2 like core celebrity deaths I remember from there have been many, but from my
Yeah.
childhood,
And
which
this is one of
was
them.
JFK Jr., Carolyn Bessette, and when Aaliyah died.
Oh, interesting. I do remember both of them. Yeah.
And like my mom being I think I remember like very upset about both.
Yeah.
And died very similarly, by the way.
I know.
But that's a story for another time. And like they were just a big part of like the New York City culture. Like they were always photographed in like Central Park, and JFK Jr., even before he met her, was like the Playboy bachelor around town. Like
Yeah.
he was like part of like the zeitgeist of the city. And this was before like, I mean, tabloids were a thing, but obviously this was before social media. So it felt very close to home. Not to mention the setting of the show is in New York City. So I got super nostalgic. Like just the set is perfection. The cars that are shown, the outfits everyone's wearing.
It's really like an ode to the 90s. Also, I did not realize that Carolyn Bessette discovered Kate Moss.
I didn't know if that was like true. Now I got to go and like do some research about
Kate
the
Moss,
actual
if
show.
you're
But yeah, Kate
listening,
Moss, if you could let us know, that'd be great. Or like, anyone who worked at Calvin Klein at that time, let us know.
Google says Carolyn Bessette Kennedy was instrumental in championing model Kate Moss. Then this is while, if you don't know, Carolyn Bessette Kennedy worked at Calvin Klein.
And yeah, I just felt super nostalgic. The fashion, the setting, they did such a good they've done such a good job with it so far. I'm really excited to watch the rest as the other episodes come out. And, it's kind of sad because you obviously know how it ends. They die.
That's why Big E doesn't wanna watch it. He's like, "Why am I gonna watch this? I know how it
He's
ends." And
like, "I know the
I'm like,
ending."
"Did you watch Notorious? Because we all know how that ended too."
Right, like, I'm pretty sure we all watched Titanic. We know what happened at the end, bro.
What is so hard is watching, I mean, this was like America's love story, like, not only, like, it was their love story, but people fell in love with them, and I mean, people were in love with the Kennedys, and, you
Yeah.
know, it really, so, it is like America's love story. I think that's the hardest thing is watching the courtship and watching these characters fall in love, knowing that the end of the season is gonna be the end of.
And these aren't spoilers, I'm just sort of giving you a taste of the format. The first episode starts with the day that they die, and
Yeah.
then the rest of the show so far is a flashback to before they met, when they met, after they met, it's sort of like it goes back, and then at the end of the show, I'm sure it's all gonna collide into that day. So it's like it has this sort of like air of sadness.
It's you know what it is? It's tragically beautiful or beautifully tragic.
That's a great way to put it.
I'm very into it, and if you have been following, you know that I have been in a watching slump. I also
Oh, I'm
generally
so
have
happy for you.
yeah, and I generally have a hard time watching scripted TV in
Right.
general. But I was sitting on the couch, I had a glass of red wine, the fire was going, and I just was like, I think I'll it the show fit the vibe of what I was doing at that present moment, but it gripped me. And I had seen some stuff online about it and it intrigued me. So I'm excited to keep watching it. It's only 9 episodes, but apparently this A Love Story is a new, like, series that Ryan Murphy's doing. So I wonder
Mhm.
what the other couples will be.
Yeah, it felt very intentionally titled. I wanna close it out by, just a silly little thought I had earlier. What else is new? I was on my TikTok and there's a creator on there, named Maggie. I don't know her last name, but she does, like, food reviews. So she does, like, Crumble Monday, Wingstop Wednesday. I like to watch people eat. Maybe it has something to do with
No,
my
I like
disordered
to
eating
watch people
habits.
eat too.
I don't know what to tell you. I like it. I'm not ashamed of it. But it got me thinking that, like, I I wanna know if you or anyone else has experienced this. I will, like, try, like, it's always, like a chain, like fast food chain or something, like a Crumble, like a Wingstop. Those 2 in particular, because this is what conjured the thought. I remember when I first like, the first 1 or 2 times I had them, I really wasn't a fan. I was like, "I don't really get it. These cookies, like, it's too much frosting." Like, I'm not really, like, a big frosting person.
So
There's too
Crumble
much
is so
going
not for you.
on. Wingstop, I was like, "It kinda makes me feel like shit." Like, it's okay, but then, like, I don't feel good afterwards. And then, all of a sudden, I crave it. All of a sudden, I'm ordering it again. All of a sudden, it's part of the regular rotation. Now, I'm sure there's a lot to be said about the things that they put in our food that make them addicting, but I just wanna know if you ever feel that way. Like, are there things where you're like, "I didn't even like that, and now I, like, crave it and like it." Like, I honestly, Taco Bell falls into that category for
No,
me
because
too.
I cannot hear Taco Bell slander. I am such a Taco
Well,
Bellanista.
now I'm a fan. What I'm saying is it's when I first tried them, like, I was like, "I don't get it." But then all of a sudden, like, I'm getting it again.
That
Like,
is
I
so
fucking love
interesting.
Wingstop. I love a crumble I like to get the minis so I could try each flavor. Like, what is that? I mean, is it like the MSG? Like, are they putting that into the food and that it literally, like, makes you crave it?
I'm sure that there is something on that. I mean, it's kinda like how they pipe in the smell of popcorn into movie theaters, so you wanna go buy popcorn.
Yes.
I'm sure there is something to that. I don't know that there's been restaurants that I've been like, "Oh, wasn't that great, but let me give it a second chance." But I don't know that there has been something that I've been like, "Oh, didn't like it. Now it's
Yeah.
a part of my regular routine." I honestly feel like you need to write a review for Crumble and Wingstop. What did they do?
Right. If either of those brands would like to sponsor me, I can start by saying, "You know what? When I first tried it, wasn't for me, and now I'm a gold star member." Um Yeah, I feel that way honestly about most, like, fast food, like, chain places. Like, when I first
Interesting.
had them, it
Chick-fil-A?
was listen, there are outliers, okay?
Just wanted to
Chick-fil-A
make
being
sure.
one of them, and we already know I support my gays, my straights, my I don't knows, I support you all, but you have to admit that is a great chicken cutlet. It's not
It's
even a
I'm
chicken cutlet.
I was like, "It's not a chicken cutlet," but it is a great
Solid
chicken
that's a
sandwich.
solid piece of chicken, what they deliver out there at Chick-fil-A. So, no, that is actually an exception to this feeling. I knew from the jump.
There's a difference between fast food and fast casual, and in my mind, Chipotle is not fast food because there's no drive-through.
Oh, I was gonna say another example is Chili's. Didn't used to care for Chili's, now I fucking love a triple dipper.
Can't say the
But
last time I
that's
was at a
fast
Chili's.
casual because that's like before you sit
Signs
down.
Ashley do you live in the suburbs? That's a sign if you're going to Chili's, you live in the suburbs.
Yeah, I think it's I'm like not I'm 15 minutes from downtown, but it's definitely a suburb.
Is it? That's
Definitely.
why I was like, "There's no Chili's around me."
Yeah. Which talk about things you could if you could tell your younger self, like, "Hey, I just wanted to, like, give you a heads up." Like, I'd be like, you live in, like, a house in the suburbs with a husband and dogs, and, like, this is not where you thought you'd be.
You're like, "I'm
This
going
is
to
not."
Chili's
And
on Thursday night."
and you chose this. Like, this wasn't like, you're not, like, trapped. Like, you're not being taken hostage. Like, you chose this life, and, like, you're choosing to stay in on a Friday night and order a triple dipper while you watch Love Story featuring JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette.
I
Like,
love it. That
like,
sounds incredible.
that's
Wait, I have a question for you. Did you grow up with a macaroni grill anywhere?
no.
Okay.
I've never been to one. I've heard of them, but I've no.
Macaroni grill, I do think, is better than Olive Garden. Now, listen, I am not out here being like, I grew up in the state of Italian food. I'm not out here being like Olive Garden is amazing Italian food.
I see what you're saying.
I go to Olive Garden because that fucking salad dressing and the breadsticks in the salad. Like
Yeah.
I I buy that salad dressing. I love the freaking salad and they bring it to you in that bowl. But anyway, I grew up every year for my birthday. I wanted to go to Macaroni Grill because they put the paper tablecloths and you got to color on the table.
Yeah. What did you get there? Like, did you have a signature dish?
The lobster ravioli.
Wow. Wow. I could assume that the macaroni grill was, like, maybe, like, Italian influence, but I truly, like, have no idea what they have.
It's like an Olive Garden.
Yeah. Would you ever like, do you ever go back now, like, in your
I don't know
adulthood?
where the one that I grew
Or
up,
would you?
would I go? Oh my god, there's one in Burlington. Maybe I need to go to the Burlington Mall and okay, so it is described as a lively Italian chain with an open kitchen known for small plates, pizzas, pastas, and wine. I think it made it sound fancier than it is.
You know what might happen, though, is you might go and be like, "Oh, this is awful." Like, you might shatter the memory.
Right. Like
'Cause
I'm like, do I just
the
want to keep
opposite
it?
happens too. If you don't go to something for a while and then you try it and you're like, "Oh, this isn't as good as I remember."
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Your body, your choice.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But I don't know why, but you talking about chili. Oh, because growing up, the Chili's and the macaroni grill were connected. That's why. I was like,
Oh,
how did I get
interesting.
I don't know that they were
Interesting.
you couldn't go from one to the other. It's like when you go on like have you ever gone like on a road trip where they've got like the look Long John Silver next to the Taco Bell?
Yeah. What's another you know what's always connected? I don't know if it's 'cause they have the same ownership. There's always like a KFC Taco Bell combo. I feel
Yeah.
like I see that a lot. Or like a Baskin Robbins Dunkin' Donuts combo.
Well, they have the same owners, don't they? I
That
think
must
that's a
be
whole thing
it.
that they do. You know what?
Yeah,
Listen,
that
don't
must
come.
be it. Have you ever heard of, Bennigan's?
No, is that a Southern thing?
No, I just
I
remember when
mean,
my
not that
family
Texas is Southern. It's
no ye well, yeah, I
but
mean,
it's not
maybe not
considered
where
the
I live,
South. It's not
but
considered the
it's in
South, is it?
yeah, but
Oh.
not in, like, the cultural way that, like
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I
I would
mean,
agree.
yeah.
Um, I don't know, when my family moved to Connecticut, there was, like, a Bennigan's, and, like, went there all the time, and I don't remember why, but it was, like, a weird, like, American Mod Podge kinda place, and it was a chain, and it almost sounds made up.
You know what chain never gets old? TGI Fridays. I Though, give me those Jack Daniels honey barbecuing. Never gonna get old. Never gonna
It's
get
a
old.
vibe. Sitting at the bar at a TGI Fridays with your girlfriends
Just
sounds
I remember
great.
being 21 for the first time, getting loaded up at Fridays.
Hell yeah. My adult self would choose Chili's because of the margaritas, but TGI Fridays has some great cocktails too.
Great cocktails,
And,
yeah.
if you want to get drunk on a budget, that's the place to go. They always got deals.
They always have deals.
They always got deals. You know what's really fallen from grace? Applebee's. Eating good in the neighborhood used to have a chokehold on me.
My sister still has a chokehold on Applebee's. Like when she's home, like her and my dad will like order Applebee's takeout. So I don't know how that's happening. But I used to love that they did a quesadilla burger. It was a burger in a quesadilla.
You mean like a patty? Like a burger patty?
Yes,
And a
but
quesadilla?
but they also did it like it was like a Mexican burger. Like it was, they like it was.
Does it still exist? I'm sure I could look it up.
I'm sure it does. I can't
Oh,
tell last time
man.
I was at an Applebee's.
Yeah, talk about deals. They're constantly advertising. They're like, buy 2, get 3 free, come in with your partner. You could share dessert. Like they're trying to pull people in all the
Wait,
time.
growing up, did your Applebee's have like the local athletic teams on the walls, like their team photos?
Like the local high school team?
Like,
I don't
yes.
think so. I don't think so, but I don't know. Maybe.
I remember going to Applebee's and it was like the team photos.
Because that's what TGI Fridays and Applebee's has in common, right? They've got the paraphernalia all over the walls, like
But
sports.
TGA Fridays is not like the local high
No,
school.
that's definitely
sports
weird.
team.
That's definitely weird. I can't comment on that. That's odd.
Well, on that note,
Let's get out of here.
thank you all for listening to another episode of the Millennial Matriarch podcast. If you missed it, we are on Instagram. Follow the Millennial Matriarch pod. Video clips, episode teasers. We're going to be giving you some fun stuff in the future. But if that's not your jam, you can also follow Ashlie and I on TikTok and Instagram. Ashlie is at Millennial Mind of Ash. I am at the _millennial _matriarch. We are serving daily chaos, hot takes, and semi-responsible wisdom. For more episodes of the Millennial Matriarch, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Substack, and YouTube. You know what? I was just going to ask you to rate, review, and subscribe, but not if you're going to call me out for saying the wrong word. Until next time, drink some water, trust your gut, and remember, you're the matriarch of your own fucking castle. Act like it. Get yourself some Applebee's. Love you. Mean it. Bye.
Bye.